guys, this is Nadya and Andreeva from spinachandyoga.com, and this is a series of Happy Belly interviews where I'm interviewing various inspirational people, favorite coaches, chefs, and Ayurvedic practitioners. And today we have a special guest, Skye Dyer, who is a singer, songwriter who has performed all over the globe. She's currently performing at Hay House events while doing some of her own. She recently released a new EP titled Letting Go, and she's excited to share it with everyone and is already writing for the next album. So thanks, Skye, for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
So the topic of the interviews is mostly digestion, but it also has a lot more to do with core and kind of being in your core, being connected to your gut. So tell us, what does a happy belly mean for you? How do you know if your belly is happy?
I think that when my belly's happy, I'm happy. But no, I really think there's a connection between the mind and the body. So for me, when my body is healthy and happy, my mind is very clear. I'm very alert. I can just tell there's a difference when I'm eating healthier foods and really taking care of myself. I'm sharper, and it just kind of goes hand in hand, and I believe.
Yeah. So one of the things that comes to my mind as somebody who works with creativity and inspiration a lot, you have to be in that state of very clarity, of when you're in tune with energy and inspiration. Do you feel like digestion affects that?
I think so, because when you're not eating, for me at least, when I'm not eating healthy foods and doing my regimen of what I want, to drink, to eat, it does make me a little fuzzy when I sit down at the piano. I need to write, I need to be clear. And if I'm not in this mode of having a healthy mind-body connection, it makes it tough. I mean, if I've eaten a bag of chips or something, it does make me feel a little grumpy. Your body obviously kind of changes to what you eat. So it definitely has an effect on what I create.
Okay, so let me ask you this question. Imagine that you want to write the most beautiful piece, the most creative piece ever. How would you prepare your body? What would you do? It might be food that you eat, or it might be something else throughout the day. How do you prepare yourself to kind of be connected and to start downloading stuff?
Yeah. Well, I love to exercise. That's a really big way for me to kind of have some clarity. And I do yoga. I like walks, anywhere. I love to walk. I do this thing called fly bar and fly wheel. Spinning is a little more intense, but it does make me feel very clear. But I'm a big believer in tea. I gave up coffee a little while ago, and it was a tough one because I actually don't like the feeling of being awake. I mean, very jumpy, but I love the smell. But it was actually, the acid was bothering my vocal cords. So I had to give it up for that. But I also realized giving that up, I did feel more awake on my own, which is a big lesson because you think you need all of these things. But once you take them out, I felt that I was more clear without it. But I love to sit down and have a cup of lemon, green tea, honey. That's kind of my calming remedy. It helps my throat, it helps my voice, and it helps me calm down and kind of get in a space to write. So I think all of those things go hand in hand.
So it's more like a ritual.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Even before I perform, I'm pretty crazy about having hot water, honey, lemon, and then normally I put green tea. But sometimes I don't do tea at all, just the hot water, lemon, and honey.
Okay. Let's talk about coffee.
Sure.
I think it's a big topic for a lot of people, especially people who suffer from digestive problems, because besides irritating vocal cords, it also can irritate digestive tract.
Yes.
And for a lot of people, it's something that makes them go to the bathroom, so they kind of become dependent on it.
Of course.
How did you go through that uneasy process of giving it up?
It definitely was a little bit hard for me, but I was a tea drinker also. I would maybe have a cup of coffee in the morning and then have tea throughout the day. So my transition wasn't too bad because I wasn't one of those, 3 or 4 cups a day person to begin with. I did miss it. I did get what they say is like a coffee headache, from not having it anymore.
How long?
But for me, it was just a couple days. But like I said, I wasn't an extreme coffee drinker. But I've always been really lucky to be, not to give too much information, but a regular person, with the bathroom and everything. So that didn't really affect me too much. but it wasn't so difficult for me. On the other hand, I have a sister that's trying to quit, and she's a big coffee drinker, so it's probably going to be a little tougher for her to wean off the coffee. But for me, it was a pretty easy transition.
Yeah.
Just I miss the smell.
Well, you can still smell it when
I can
somebody's
still smell
drinking
it. Yes, but that's about it.
No, that's really good that you were able to stay with that short period of unease and then have
Yes.
an increased sense of both clarity and feeling awake naturally.
Yes. Yeah, I do feel lucky about that.
Yeah. So what are some of the foods that your body loves? Like something that you eat and you feel like this is my type of food.
Yeah. Well, my parents always said I was one of those unusual kids because I've always loved fruits and vegetables. So for me, that's what my body loves. I tend to be one of those people that my friends joke I'm a rabbit because I eat salad as much as possible. Mm-hmm. I eat an apple a day. I kind of believe an apple a day keeps the doctor away. I have one wherever I go. When I travel, I find local markets and, make sure I have my apples. Tea again every day. I love that. I wake up with it. Sometimes I just wake up with even a glass, of hot water and lemon just to kind of get my digestive system on track.
Yeah.
What else do I love? I'm a big nut fan of nuts, almonds, walnuts. I'm a big snacker, so I bring them with me everywhere. What else? I'm not so much of a red meat eater. Once in a while, if it's a special occasion, but I don't eat too much of that. But overall, I love healthy fats. I love avocado. I can't get enough of it. I love peanut butter, but the kind that basically has like the least amount of sugar you can get.
Yeah.
Those are kind of the foods that are my everyday. I make a berry smoothie every morning. I can't kind of live my life without that. I feel very lucky I can buy berries every day. And that's kind of it. I'm not a big dairy eater. I use almond milk, and I feel like I work better without dairy. Mm-hmm. I don't know about it for everyone, but I feel better without it.
Yeah, and I love that. Let's talk a little bit more about foods that you feel they're not serving your body. So dairy is one of them.
Yes. Yeah. I learned early on, at birthday parties when everyone was eating ice cream, I'd always get a really bad headache afterwards. Not a stomach ache, because most people get a stomach ache when they eat ice cream. But it did, I don't know if it was, the sugar or the dairy, but I kind of correlated it into, I'm not a big lover of cheese. So I kind of think my body was always telling me, dairy is not the greatest thing for you. But the one thing is my biggest splurge is pizza. So for some reason I can eat the cheese on pizza, but I don't love it otherwise. So that's the only time. But, I have to kind of limit that too. But it is my favorite thing.
Okay.
That's my cheat.
Is there anything else besides dairy that you feel is kind of doesn't sit well with your body?
I try to stay away from processed foods. I mean, I really do try to buy anything that's not in a bag or a box. I really try to eat as healthy and, live foods as I can. I'm trying to think what else kind of bothers me. I mean, dairy is that's kind of it for me. Yeah. But, just the processed foods I try to stay away from.
Makes sense.
Very simple.
Yeah, and I think most of it has to be pretty simple, right?
Yes.
So, what are some of your tips or ideas for somebody who is just starting to transition to healthier lifestyle or to healthier diet?
I think everything in moderation. I think it's tough to tell someone, all right, you can't eat, everything you're used to eating every day, and now you just have to eat, fruits and vegetables and all of these lean meats. I think for some people that's a little hard to understand at first. Maybe if you can add in a green juice, maybe a salad at one meal, try to, ease out the junk food you were eating before instead of maybe eating a whole bag of chips if you used to do that, try to limit that. Mm-hmm. I try to live my life in moderation. I don't want to be such a stickler about everything I eat, but I know that my body feels so much better when I'm eating healthy food. So I try to always remember that before I want to eat the junk. And I think if someone can kind of think about that when they start to feel the difference of eating healthy, maybe that'll be an easier transition. But it's all about moderation.
Yeah, I love this approach of moderation because I think a lot of things from childhood and from memories are still bringing us lots of pleasure.
Of
So
course.
giving them up feels very, very restricted for a lot of people.
Of course. Yeah, it's scary. It's, taking away something that could be a comfort to them. So, you just have to find an easy way to eat less or,
Yeah.
find ways to get around it.
So one other thing that I think you might have a really interesting insights on is um, for a lot of people, when digestion is not functioning properly, it kind of translates into not being connected to their core, like to the core of their being.
Of course, yeah.
And I feel that you pursuing, and not necessarily a traditional career, where success is measured in a not regular way. It's not like I'm being promoted,
Yes, of course.
and my salary is increasing, and that makes me successful.
Mm.
How did you connect to that core desire and knowing like this is what I want to be doing?
It was very easy for me because I've always sang. My parents joke that I came out of the womb singing. So it was, I never really questioned the fact. I always felt that if you're given a gift, you always need to stay connected to it. And I felt that if I wasn't pursuing it, it was almost like, giving a slap in the face to someone for giving me this gift. So for me, it was very easy to stay connected to it and always want to pursue it because it makes me happy. And I think at the end of the day, everyone wants to be doing something that makes them happy. And that was an easy choice for me to stay with it. And even though this career is very up and down, you never know what's going to happen. I still know that it's where I need to be at. So that it was easy for me just because I've always been doing it.
And you make it sound so easy, but I think like for a lot of people, doing what makes them happy is such
it definitely
thing.
is. Yeah, I travel with my father. He writes psychology books, Dr. Wayne Dyer. I shouldn't say psychology anymore, but self-help.
Yeah.
And it's crazy, I listen to him speak so much that I feel so lucky that I get to hear these things, but it's very hard for people to try to find that job or career that makes them happy without feeling scared about money. It once you can let go and kind of go where you're supposed to be, it's a great feeling and it normally always falls into place. But it's scary to let go of that and just, let it be.
Okay, so tell me, out of all the lectures that you heard by Wayne Dyer,
yes, I've heard a lot.
implementing a lot of the things probably in your life as well, because you kind of absorb it through being with a person for a long time. What are some of the main philosopher's notes?
Gosh, sometimes my dad brings other speakers to his events, and there was one woman that spoke, Anita Morjani, and
I love her.
I love her, and she really spoke to me on a level, and it was that the greatest thing you can do while you're alive is to love yourself. And it just really struck a chord with me because I think I struggled with that. Even though I had all this information, I was getting it and I knew I was supposed to, it just made sense when she said it. And it really is, everything becomes so much easier in your life when you love yourself. It means you can love other people, you're open to everything, and you're just coming with no judgments. And I think that's how you have your mind and body in such a great place because you love yourself. You love everything about you. And I really, really loved that. That really stuck with me. And also my dad always says too that, you let it be. It's, it's like the Beatles song. You let things go and things, they kind of fall into place. You can't spend all your time stressing. Stress is not great for the body.
Yeah, and I think if you love yourself, it's really hard to hurt your body.
It's very
hard
true.
to emotionally overeat.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
hard to binge eat. You're not going to go starving.
No.
So I think you hit it right on the head.
Thank you. Thank you. And also I did have a mom who was really, really healthy. So that was a really good example to watch. She always ate very healthy, exercised, and it was very easy to kind of watch that and live by, learn by example.
That's really cool. So if somebody wants to find some of your music,
Sure.
where can they find it?
So my new EP actually just came out yesterday. So right now it's
Wow,
on.
congrats.
Yes, thank you so much. It's actually on Amazon, at hayhouse.com. iTunes will be up in we think about 1 to 2 weeks. It just takes a little longer for that. And then also I think I will be on Barnes and Noble soon. But for now, Amazon and Hay House, you can get it there. And my website will be up and running by Monday, fingers crossed. So you can also hear samples of it there, and we'll have all the info there at skydyer.com.
All right, cool. Well, congratulations.
Thank you so much. I'm very excited. Thank you.
Yeah. So guys, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you can see all other Happy Belly interviews with amazing people, and get Skye's, how would you say?
It's actually an EP because it's only 6 songs, but but yeah, you could say CD.
Okay, so get EP.
Yes. It's called Letting Go.
Letting Go. The link is going to be right below the video. And
Yes.
also get the Happy Belly Guide on Amazon. And we'll see you in another video. Bye.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Bye.